I ask the kind of questions that break a person, not because they're cruel, but because they make no sense. The door clicks shut behind me, sealing us into the room. It's not a real interrogation room, just an unused office with the blinds drawn and the overhead lights just a little too bright. But the effect is the same. The space between us is tight, the air is stiff with expectation. Kyle sits across from us, arms crossed, back stiff, eyes locked onto the tabletop. He won't make eye contact. Not yet, but his knee bounces under the table in jittery little bursts. It's a small tell, but it's something. Mrs. Anders starts. Her voice is low, deliberate, a scalpel. Kyle, this is your chance to come clean. The police will likely be involved. Lying will not help you. Kyle's lips press together. He stares at the wood grain of the desk. I didn't do anything. Anders doesn't even blink. We know that's not true. Mr. Bill shifts forward slightly, his hands resting on the table. He's gentler, smoother. Kyle, listen. We're not here to ruin your life. We just want your side. If you're honest with us, we can help. Kyle exhales through his nose, shrugs. I don't even know what you're talking about. That is my cue. I lean forward just slightly, tilting my head like I'm studying him. So, Kyle, I say, voice measured. Would you rather fight 1,000 crabs or one crab the size of a minivan? His head snaps up. His whole face creases in confusion. What? Think about it, I continue, keeping my expression completely neutral. One giant crab? That's a nightmare. But 1,000 little ones? There's no safe place to stand. His brain visibly stalls. I don't know. The big one? Interesting, I murmur. Risky choice. One wrong move and you're done. His mouth opens like he wants to argue, but he clamps it shut, shaking his head. He knows better than to engage. Bill doesn't react. He stays on track, pressing the real questions. Kyle, you were seen near the storage shed after hours. Why were you there? Kyle shifts in his seat. His knee stops bouncing. I wasn't, he says, too quickly. Anders tilts her head. You sure? He hesitates, just a fraction of a second too long. Yeah? I clear my throat. Hypothetically, I say, tapping my pen on the table. If you were a raccoon, but you had one human ability, just one, what would you pick? Kyle exhales sharply. Dude, what? It's important, I say. Would you want, like, human speech? Opposable thumbs? The ability to file taxes? Kyle stares at me, his mouth slightly open. Why would I? Just answer the question, I say, my tone grave. His face twitches like he's debating whether or not to engage. He exhales through his nose. Thumbs, I guess. Interesting, I say, nodding. Thumbs open doors, make tools. You'd be unstoppable. Anders doesn't even react to me anymore. She's seen this game before. She just cuts straight back in. Kyle, your friend has already told us what happened. That's not true, but it doesn't have to be. Kyle stiffens. Bill leans in. lowering his voice. Look, we know you weren't alone. We know something happened that night. This is your opportunity to tell us your version. Kyle swallows hard. His fingers tighten in his lap. Real quick, I interrupt, folding my hands. You're in a hot air balloon. The pilot faints. You have two choices. Land it yourself with zero experience, or throw someone else to lighten the load and hope for the best. What do you do? Kyle groans, dragging a hand down his face. Why are you doing this? Doing what? This. Asking these dumb questions. I blink at him. I need to know how you think under pressure. He exhales hard, visibly forcing himself not to take the bait. I'd try to land it. Brave, I say, nodding solemnly. Not necessarily smart, but brave. Anders shifts in her seat, exhaling. She's running out of patience, but she knows this works. She's seen it before. Bill keeps the rhythm. Kyle, you're thinking too hard. This is simple. Just tell the truth. Kyle's jaw tightens. His knee bounces again. He doesn't look at us. Time for one more. I lace my fingers together, taking a slow breath. All right, Kyle, last one. I wait until his eyes flick to me. You wake up in a cornfield. You don't know how you got there. The only thing in your pocket is a single Dorito. What is your first move? Kyle blinks rapidly, his face twitching. And then, it happens. He snorts. It's barely a sound. A tiny puff of air through the nose. But it's there. The moment he realizes what's happening, realizes he's laughing, he clamps his lips shut, his eyes wide. But it's too late. The slip-up comes right after. A single phrase, thrown out carelessly between breaths. Anders pounces. Kyle? Her voice is a blade. Is that true? His face drains of color. He shakes his head, stammering, but it's over. We have what we need. I lean back, watching it settle over him. The realization, the mistake. I push my chair back and stand, stretching my arms. Solid choice with the thumbs, I say, turning towards the door. The tax thing was a trap. Kyle groans, slumping forward, head in his hands. Bill exhales, shaking his head with the smallest of smirks. Anders scribbles something onto a notepad, then nods towards the door. That's all for now, Kyle. He doesn't move. He's still staring at the desk. I don't blame him. The dumb cop act always feels like a slow trickle at first, a steady, meaningless background noise, but then it builds like static in the back of your skull. It's not a hammer, it's not a knife. It's water dripping onto stone. Kyle never had a chance. I step out into the hallway, exhaling, shaking the tension out of my hands. Anders gives me a look. Minivan crab? Bill chuckles under his breath. I shrug. You have to throw them off. Anders tucks her notepad under her arm. You throw them way off. I glance back at the door, at Kyle's hunched silhouette behind the glass. Dumb cop. Works every time. I'd love to hear what you think. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you found this story entertaining, hit that like button and don't forget to explore more content on my channel. See you in the next one.